One of my favorite quotes about identity is that it is the story we tell about ourselves. When it comes to the story that we tell, it can come from ourselves, our families, the people around us. There's so many places where our self story, this narrative of who we are, comes from. And it is important that we identify what is our story, what would we like it to be, and what are we doing or not doing that keeps it that way. I'm Latia, and I've been figuring out what's really important to me, and identity has been a theme that keeps coming up. That and clarity. So clarity of your vision. Who are you? Who do you think you are in relationship to what you would like? So when it comes to the stories that we tell about ourselves, for me personally, I know a lot of my stories come from authority figures, which is probably part of why I don't like them very much. So it's been my parents complaining about me. It's been whether they complain about me directly as in you're doing these things wrong, or it's them complaining about me using the other parent's flaws as something that I'm demonstrating in a moment. So you're so blah, just like your blah other parent. And I know they didn't mean to be mean, but sometimes those things are hurtful. And I was chatting with my sister about all of this yesterday. And what she said is that, yeah, this is the first time I'm being criticized in my life. I haven't had challenges like this. And I was like, the first time you've been criticized? What? Are you serious? And she's like, oh, my love language is not words of affirmation. It's quality time. So that whatever they said growing up didn't bother me. Like, it'd just be like something I could easily qualify or understand within the context of who they were. And I was like, wow, that makes sense. Whereas like, I wouldn't be surprised if one of my love languages was words of affirmations and the things that people say, because words mean a lot to me. I read a lot. I really like looking up words. Dictionary definitions are fascinating to me. And all of those things are like part of how I operate within the world. Like anytime I hear about people who look up words and add them to their vocabulary, when people create words, those things are the things that fascinate me. So hearing that my sister didn't like take on what was said about her growing up was like, oh, like that's so cool. Like we went through very similar circumstances, and yet like it really impacted me and didn't impact her. Her identity was safe. And also she was like the cool sister. Like it's like she can say mean, sarcastic things, but she says it in a way that nobody cares. It's so nice. It's like, Latia, when you say these things, it's just mean and hurtful. And it's just like, cool. So I can't be funny. I can't have personality. I just get to be boring. That's great. But that's also part of my identity and how I see myself. The way people respond to you can have a very big impact on the way you operate in the world. And so when I was sharing with my sister, I was like, I really am seeking to create events where it's around changing the way you see yourself in communication. Because I feel a lot of what happens is in regular life, people will respond to you any kind of way. And that's how life is. So of course, but at the same time, there's a difference between having someone respond to you and being like, okay, like you're with me, we understand, and then having people respond to you in a way where it's just like, okay, what's wrong with me? What did I do? I don't understand what's happening here. I don't get these, vibes, like something's wrong. I can't put my finger on it. I was the last person to say something, so I must have violated some norm, but I'm just not aware. And when we have a lot of those experiences where we don't trust ourselves, we feel like we do the wrong things, it makes sense that people get shy or they shut down or they stop expressing their truth. Because when you feel like people respond to you negatively, it's not fun trying to talk to people. It's just like all you do is shut me down. So why am I going to start, sharing myself with you when you take who I am for granted? And that's a lot of the things that I would like to create, because lately I know I've been dealing with experiences where like as a Black woman in a white male-dominated industry, there are moments where people don't know how to act with Black people, like just Black people, but then also Black women, and then it's just also like another level of weirdness where like people say things and it's just like, wow, this is awkward. I don't I don't even know how to respond to this. Like, I'm uncomfortable. It's clearly because of my race and skin color. I'm not even gonna touch this. Let's just drive on by. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's even more interesting because like, it's like, and like, because stereotypes are just the easiest way to do this right now, I'm just going, like, disclaimer, I understand this is a stereotype and it's not true of every person in this group, but sometimes white people have no ability to read a room, get what people are emotionally responding, and they're just not in tune. Like, there's just like this level of unawareness where it's just like, how are you living in such a big bubble? Like, some lady pushed past me on the street, like literally just kind of like hits half of my body, and it's just like, I get you're going somewhere, but why do you have the audacity to just push people? Like, there's just like no courtesy sometimes, just no sense of like understanding other people are around you, no awareness, no paying attention. I will say excuse me, and then if like you don't respond to me trying to ask you to move, then I will push you out my way, because it's like, I'm getting there and clearly you're not paying attention, so you're welcome. But like, working with people where there's legitimately just like a tone deaf, where they like will show me things or say things, and it's just like, you really don't understand how offensive this is? Wow, that's weird. It's just weird. I've never been around so many dumb smart people. And I guess that's where like book smart versus common sense comes in, because it's just like, operating in corporate America and playing those games versus being a normal person are so different. And like, even though I'm working in a startup space, it's just like the level of just ignorance maybe is just so high. And it's also like, I don't want to be the one who has to like correct everyone, because like, I have a job to do, and my job is not to be a black lady who comes in and like changes your mind about everything. Like, I just want to do my job. And doing my job is difficult enough on many days, and I don't feel like taking on the burden of my race as well. Like, no thank you. Fortunately, we have other black people in the company, but it's still, for me personally, like, I'm sensitive. So it's like, oh yeah, what would be stressful for a normal person? And then like amplify it, because it's just like, things just bother me and eat away at me. And I'm working on it as best I can. But it's like, my identity, like, there are aspects of our identity that we just can't help how people respond to. I can't help that I'm a black woman. Everywhere I go, I'm a black woman. And like, in weird cases, some people think I'm mixed, but for different reasons. Like, some people are like, oh no, I have a mixed friend and her skin tone is like yours, or like the way you speak makes it sound like one of your parents is white. And it's just like, the way I speak, I sound educated like a white person. Like, there's just so many different aspects to who we think we are and how we show up in the world, and who other people think we are, and what we think is possible for us in our lives. And I know that like, I'm still working through it, but who I know myself to be is usually a child of God. And yeah, I am religious, spiritual, I would probably say. I'm not really religious. The religion aspect of it, I think, focuses on the wrong pieces. But child of God, created in God's image, with the power of word to speak life and or death. It's in the power of the tongue. Thought, word, and deed, like who we think we are shapes what we think about, shapes what we say, and shapes what we do. So we're always creating what's possible for us. And if you don't have people who can expose you to something outside of what you think is possible for yourself, then you're gonna stay stuck in, like, it could be poverty, it could be lack, it could just be a mindset that's not empowering you to get things done. And I don't know what that looks like or is, because at the end of the day, wherever you are is where you're meant to be, and you can always grow. There's always potential to shake things up and become a better version of yourself. So if you're looking to learn more, please check out more videos. I'm like finding my direction, so I'll be improving the quality. Please reach out to me on Facebook if you're curious to chat and keep in touch. It's the Manifest Queen. My sister gave me that title because when we were going to LA, I was like, we're going to LA and we're staying in this dope hotel and it's gonna be great. And we did BeautyCon together and got the little packages and it was amazing. She also called me a genius, but I was like, I won't be that high strung about it. But yeah, manifest queen, that's me. So yeah, reach out. I'd love to hear what your identity, like where has it come from? What are you dealing with? Comment below if that works for you. I'd love to like keep in touch and have a wonderful day.